Hey everyone, today I want to talk about food in Dungeons & Dragons and how something like a Thanksgiving meal might be achieved. Food is something that is often glossed over unless you're running a survival campaign. A party will generally have rations or be in the wilderness, and we just assume that they get their necessary sustenance along the way. But the Player's Handbook does have some pretty specific rules about food and water and what happens if the characters don't get it. Let's take a look at food first. Characters need 1 pound of food per day. If they do half rations, then that counts as half a day without food. The number of days that a character can go without food is 3 plus their constitution modifier. So if you have a +1 constitution, you can go 4 days without food or 8 days with half rations. After that, you suffer a level of exhaustion for each day that you go without food. The only way to fix exhaustion from a lack of food is to eat food. Long rests have no impact on exhaustion that comes from a lack of food. Water is even more important than food, and so the rules are even more strict. A character needs 1 gallon of water on a normal day or 2 gallons of water on a hot day. If you only drink half the needed water, then you have to roll a DC 15 Constitution save, or you suffer a level of exhaustion. If you don't drink any water, then even after just 1 day, you automatically suffer a level of exhaustion. The kicker is that if you're already suffering from exhaustion and you don't drink the amount of water that you need, then you actually get 2 levels of exhaustion from the lack of water. Before anybody throws any spoiled food at me for not mentioning it, greater restoration will reduce exhaustion by 1 level regardless of the cause, so you do have a magical option to at least temporarily recover from a lack of food or water. Now, with all those rules to consider, how exactly does your character get food? The place to start would be in a town at a tavern. There's a number of standard options in the official books. The first option is meals tied to a character's living conditions. If your character lives a meager existence on the streets, or maybe is a college student on a tight budget, then each meal will cost them 3 copper. If you exist at the opposite end and live a life of luxury, then your character will be shelling out 2 gold per meal. And there's several options in between depending on your character's lifestyle. If you prefer your meals to be more a la carte, the Player's Handbook has some help for that too. Nothing says fine dining quite like a chunk of meat and a hunk of cheese washed down with a gallon of ale. You can get all that for just 6 silver pieces. And if you're planning to have the extended family over for the holidays, the rules even allow you to plan a banquet for the low cost of 10 gold per person. But don't worry if you think 10 gold per person is too much to shell out for your family. You just need to hook up with a friendly cleric and ask them to cast Create Food and Water. The spell creates 45 pounds of food and 30 gallons of water. Unfortunately, the food is bland, so don't expect any rave reviews from the in-laws. Official D&D is a little light on poultry, no chickens or turkeys. But for the more adventurous sorts out there, the axe beak might fit the bill. But setting all that aside, how does one go about finding a beast for dinner? If you wish to hunt, then the survival skill will come in handy to help you track down the beast in the wild. You could also use locate animals or plants to find a beast you describe within 5 miles of your location. Now, some might be thinking you could use conjure animal or find familiar to summon a turkey from another realm, but the problem is when they drop to 0 hit points, the creature will disappear, taking all of your potential leftovers with it. If all else fails, you could cast a wish spell to create a roasted turkey suitable for your party, provided it's valued at less than 25,000 gold pieces. But the most important piece of advice is don't forget that if you're celebrating the holidays over at your in-laws, it might be a good idea to have a Purify Food and Drink spell scroll handy just in case. I'd love to hear in the comments about your most awesome food-based D&D encounter. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and while you're digesting all that, you can check out this video. Until next time, take care.